Krishna. We're going to continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada. Today will be chapter 12, text 6 and 7, please. I don't know what exact page in your edition. Yeah, from different pages. So once again, chapter 12, text 6 and 7. Vasudevaya. Okay, I'm going to read Sanskrit first. Yeah, shall we get it? Yetu sarvani karmani Mayi sanyasya matpara Ananyayena iva yogena Mampyantam tapa upasate Deshamaham samudhartam Mrityu samsara sagara Bhavamina chirapatha Maya vishita chetasam Yetu sarvani karmani Maya sanyasya matparaha Ananya yena iva yogena Mam yantayanta upasate Teshamaham samudhartam Mrityu samsara sagara Bhavami chirapatha Maya vishita chetasam Yetu sarvani karmani Maya sanyasya matparaha Ananya yenva yogena Madhyanyanta upasate Teshamaham samudharta Mrityu samsara sagara Bhavamina chirapatha Maya vishita chetasam. Anybody with that? Yetu sarvani karmani Mayi sanyasya matpara Ananyena yogena Mamyayanta upasase Teshamaham samudharta Mrityu samsara sagara Bhavamina chirapatha Maya vishita chetasam Yetu sarvani karmani Mayi sanyasya matpara Ananyena yogena Mamyayanta upasate Teshamaham samudharta Mrityu samsara sagara Bhavamina chirapatha Maya vishita chetasam
Yetu sarvani karmani Mayi sanyasya matparaha Ananyena yogena Mamyayanta upasate Teshamaham samudharta Mrityu samsara sagara Bhavamina chirapatha Maya vishita chetasam
Yetu sarvani karmani Mayi sanyasya matpara Anyaneva yogena Mamyayanta upasate Teshamaham samudharta Mrityu samsara sagara Bhavamina chirapatha Maya vishita chetasam
Yetu sarvani karmani
Yetu sarvani karmani Mrityu samsara sagara. Bhavamina chiraparka. Mayavesita chetasam. Right? Yeah. Those who. To. But. Sarvani. All. Karmani. Activities. Mari. Unto me. Sanyasya. Giving up. Madparaha. Being attached to me. Anandana. Without the division. Eva. Certainly. Yogana. By practice of such bhakti yoga. Mam. Upon me. Dhyanantaha. Meditating. Upasate. Worship. Tesam. Of them. Aham. I. Samudharta. The deliverer. Mrityu. Of death. Samsara. Immaterial existence. Sakara. From the ocean. Bhavani. I become. Na. Not. Shira. After a long time. Artha. O son of Krita. Mai. Poni. Avishita. Fixed. Chetasam. Of those whose minds. Translation. But those who worship me, giving up all the activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. Let's try together. But those who worship me, giving up all the activities unto me, and being devoted to me, without deviation, engaged in devotional service, always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. Purport by His Grace Prabhupada ki jai. It is explicitly stated here that devotees are very fortunate to be delivered very soon from material existence by the Lord. In pure devotional service, one comes to the realization that God is great and that individual soul is subordinate to Him. His duty is to render service to the Lord, and if he does not, then he will render service to Maya, illusion. As stated before, the Supreme Lord can be appreciated only by devotional service. Therefore, one should be fully devoted. One should fix his mind fully on Krishna in order to achieve Him. One should work only for Krishna. It doesn't matter in what kind of work one engages, but that work should be done only for Krishna. That is the standard of devotional service. The devotee doesn't desire any achievement other than pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His life's mission is to please Krishna, and he can sacrifice everything for Krishna's satisfaction, just as Arjuna did in the battle of Kurukshetra. The process is very simple. One can devote himself in the occupation and engage at the same time in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Such transcendental chanting attracts the devotees to the personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord herein promises that without delay he will deliver a pure devotee thus engaged from the ocean of material existence. Those who are advanced in yoga practice can willfully transfer their soul to wherever planet they like by the yoga process, and others take the opportunity in various ways. But as far as the devotee is concerned, it is clearly stated here that the Lord Himself takes him. The devotee doesn't need to wait to become very experienced in order to transfer himself to the spiritual sky. In the Varaha Purana, this verse appears. Nayami Paramam Shanam Achir Adiga Timvina Garuda Skandam Aropya Yadecham Anivaritaha. The purpose of this verse is that the devotee doesn't need to practice Ashtanga Yoga in order to transfer his soul to the spiritual planets. The responsibility is taken by the Supreme Lord Himself. He clearly states here that He Himself becomes the deliverer. A child is completely cared for by his parents, and thus his position is secure. Similarly, a devotee doesn't need to endeavor to transfer himself by yoga practice to other planets. Rather, the Supreme Lord, by His great mercy, comes at once, riding on His bird carrier, Garuda, and at once delivers the devotee from material existence. Although a man who has fallen in the ocean may struggle very hard and may be very expert in swimming, he cannot save himself. But if someone comes and picks him up from the water, then he is easily rescued. Similarly, the Lord picks up the devotee from this material existence. One simply has to practice the easy process of Krishna consciousness and fully engage himself in devotional service. Any intelligent man should always prefer the process of devotional service to all other paths. In the Narayaniya, this is confirmed as follows. Yavai sadhana sampati purushata chatushtaye tayavina tad apnoti naro narayanarastrayaha. The purpose of this verse is that one should not engage in a different process of fruitive activity or cultivate knowledge by the mental speculative process. One who is devoted to the Supreme Personality can attain all the benefits derived from other yogic processes, speculation, rituals, sacrifices, charities, etc. That is the specific benediction of devotional service. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, a devotee of the Lord can approach the supreme destination easily and happily. But this destination cannot be approached by any other process of religion. The conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is stated in the 18th chapter. Sabhadamam parisyaja mam ekam sarvam vraja aham tyam sarva parivyo mokshaya shriya shamimam sujaha. One should give up all other processes of self-realization and simply execute devotional service in Krishna consciousness. That will enable one to reach the highest perfection of life. There is no need for one to consider the sinful actions of his past life, because the Supreme Lord fully takes charge of him. Therefore, one should not futilely try to deliver himself in spiritual realization. Let everyone take shelter of the Supreme Omnipotent Godhead, Krishna. That is the highest perfection of life. Translation. But those who worship me, giving up all the activities unto me, and being devoted to me, without deviation, engaged in devotional service, and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, all son of Priti. For them, I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. have only one choice, to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, or to serve Maya, the Absolute Illusion. And this should be only one choice, not two choices. And one may easily find the way out from the maze of material existence, one who serves the Absolute Truth. Means that I devote all my activity to Krishna. I devote all my thoughts to Krishna. I devote all my results from activity. And this means that we're fully engaged in thinking, chanting, remembering Krishna, remembering the Absolute Truth. And it doesn't matter what we do. The thing is that I do to please Krishna. I do anything I do for satisfaction of Lord, my Lord, Krishna. Of course, it doesn't mean that I can do anything I like, because my mind could become anything, just like lots of madness could be, or anything in this world we can do, So that should be really what Krishna prefers, not what I prefer. So we should be intelligent in this aspect. So I do my best and with all my might to please Krishna. This is the formula, this is my understanding. Wisely, with all benefits, not only for me, but for all living entities in the world. Of course, starting from devotees, family members, friends, relatives, and all who surround me. And when Krishna is pleased with someone's service, he himself transplants the soul to the spiritual world. It says here. Yeah. In other cases, a yogi must practice many years, hundreds of years, to get the benefits, to get rid of this material existence. But simply by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we can do it easily, in a joyful way, to get the way out from material existence, from material sufferings as well. Yeah. And those devotees who already please Krishna no longer need such experience. Even if I still got any obstacles, even if my heart has still got some contaminations or anything I do not in a perfect way, I got some problem somewhere in devotional service. It still says that Krishna will give me a path towards spiritual or the perfection of life. Why? Why is that? Why Krishna is so merciful? Because we got a relationship. As long as I got a relationship with somebody, my friend, my relative, or the person who is really close to me, I close to him, he just don't see these things in really negative way. You always see things in a positive way. For instance, if my friend is the top manager in the bank, would I have access to the bank? Probably yes. You'll say, okay, this is the rules. I'm going to show you that. Because I got a relationship with the top manager of the bank, and there's no access for ordinary people, Of course, I'm not going to do anything bad in that bank, but I've got access because my friend is the top manager. He's the head of that building.
Did everybody know that this building used to be a bank?
You see, you've got access. Everybody got access.
You have access now. There were two safes down in the kitchen, and everybody said, "Was there money?" But there was no money in it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. So the personal relationship is really important. Or I remember we had a 4-hour kirtan, probably like 2 or 3 months ago, and there was one person, he just came to the temple first time ever, and and he said like, oh, is it possible to chant Hare Krishna? Can I sing? And then Jaya Prabhu said, I don't know you. I just don't know you. So that was an answer. What are you going to chant?
Probably said that to everybody. Miserable person.
So the personal relationship is really important. Otherwise, there's no way out from this material existence. Yeah. So all those who begin all devote all the activity to absolute truth, Krishna, are no longer suffering from endless philosophical research. So we're not. We don't need to do Ashtanga yoga or Hatha yoga. There are lots of yogas we can find in advertisements, and we just need to know the secret. Just by simply chanting Hare Krishna, that's the way. And some yogis, as I read in the Shastras, they just practice hundreds and hundreds of years of the yoga again to achieve this supreme, to achieve the perfection of life. And this takes so long time for them to be in this condition. But again, we know that Krishna promises here that He's going to resolve all these obstacles on the way to Him if we chant Hare Krishna, if we all fully engage in remembering Him, and we engage in a devotional service. So this is the perfection of life, and establishing a relationship with one who is able to resolve absolutely everything. And all this magic is possible only in our time, which is called Kali Yuga. How is that? We know that there are 4 yugas, and the Kali Yuga is the worst of them. How is it possible to achieve any kind of perfection in the time of Kali? This is the worst yuga of all yugas, as we know. Let's talk a little bit about Kali Yuga. Yes. So each universe experiences a cycle, or a cycle consisting of 4 parts. The same like 4 seasons in a year. Like we know the summer season, we know autumn season, we know winter season, and congratulations to the 1st of March. This is the start of the spring times, the spring season. Yeah, so same in the yugas. We know Satya Yuga, we know Dvapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, and the Kali Yuga. And just as the amount of solar energy and the length of daylight hours changing from the season to season, similar does human consciousness change with each yuga. So with each yuga, our consciousness becomes more active or more poor. So in the Kali Yuga, our consciousness is poorer compared to the other yugas. It's less capable for perceiving and understanding spiritual life. According to the quality of this perception, a person's lifetime is shorter, mental health is poor, and the principles by which they live change. Well, every time we consider the political situation is changing, moral values sometimes changing, like 50 years ago, it would be absolutely madness to imagine that the same sex could get married. Now it's normal. So lots of crazy things happening, and it's changing all the time. What's going to be next? For example, if we're living in the final part of this cycle, and the final part of the cycle is Kali Yuga again, the 4th period, the 4th Yuga. So this from Sanskrit is called Kali Yuga. A time of chaos, violence, quarrel, times of conflict. Spiritual perception in this yuga is minimal, which has a detrimental effect of the mental health of the entire society. People go mad, behave the most shameful way, leading to a large number of mental disorders during Kali Yuga, people are more interested in the material life than in the spiritual life. This is why everyone is so fascinated with astrology, fortune telling, ghosts, aliens, what else? Esoteric, mysterious conversation, enigmatic. You know what enigmatic means?
An enigma is something which you can't figure out. It's something which is unknown. An enigma.
Right. Well, thank you, Prabhupada. Yes, that's right. So anything like mysterious, people like to talk about. Oh, I know that. I just thought about this. Or aliens is coming soon. Are you ready for that? Well, we just discussed recently on Friday with Prabhupada that Americans know about aliens 60 years, yeah? But we still haven't seen it. But the people are really interested in these conversations. So this is the time of Kali. A person's life is approximately 100 years, as we know. But this can decrease. The Shastra says that at this age of Kali, a 30-year-old person could feel like a true old man sometimes. Why is that? Sorry?
I was just looking at the family study. Sorry,
Because of our mentality. So the less we practice a spiritual life in our life, the more we become older. We look older. Our consciousness become older. We look not healthy after that. The less a person thinks about eternity and spiritual existence, the more actively the physical body approaches old ages. People rely on scientific discoveries, but a sinful life annuls all these achievements, no matter how magical they may seem. In short, the less spiritual aspects there is in society, the less of everything else we get, like intelligence, memory, love, compassion, and all good values of our life. The less spirituality there is in society, the shorter lifetime we have. So this is all about Kali Yuga. But no panic, please, no panic. Because we devotees know the secret. And what is the secret? The secret is in Vrindavan. So, in Vrindavan there is a transcendental place called Govardhan Hill. And the Govardhan Hill connected to Kali Yuga directly. How? This is a sacred place. All the sages reveal this secret to us. As long as Govardhan Hill remains in this world, the influence of Kali Yuga will be contained. And only when the very top of Govardhan Hill will get disappeared, then the Kali Yuga going to come to the full force, to the full power. Govardhana protects us all, and by its grace, Kali Yuga doesn't fully enter our consciousness. This is the only reason we haven't yet gone mad. And this is probably one of the reasons why we still haven't killed each other for no reason. Joke. The scripture said that it's better not even to pronounce the name of our time, as it pollutes consciousness. You know, I think in Shiva, right, one of the Shiva's followers, as long as they say Kali, they're just blocking their ears. They don't want to hear it. Don't say that. You know, but as long as they say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, we neutralize that. Okay, so our consciousness is okay. But this doesn't mean our automatically protected. So Govardhan Hill is not going to protect us automatically. Our protection is also in our own hands. Govardhan can only help us if we refuse to compromise with Maya. So if we live in Maya, Govardhan Hill is not going to help us. But if we say no Maya and say yes to devotional service to Krishna, then Govardhan Hill definitely going to help us. Any compromise with Maya in spiritual life is a permission for Kali to enter our consciousness and take over. Kali Yuga corrodes all a person's auspicious qualities like rust that gradually destroys even the hardest iron. Therefore, we must not allow the influence of age Kali to corrode our spiritual life. We must fight Kali. We must not allow him enter even into our homes, our consciousness. And he will not enter because he normally enters to our homes and in our consciousness through 4 principles of pure living are followed. So, where Kali lives? Kali lives in meat, so no meat eaten, no illicit sex, no gambling, and no intoxications. Because in those 4 things, the Kali definitely going to come to our home, our life, our consciousness. So these 4 things forbidden, not just by simple way, it's got the purpose of forbidden. So, and Kali cannot leave them. There is no food for Kali, and this Kali is forced to leave as long as we give up all these 4 sinful activities. Furthermore, we are very fortunate that during the dark age of Kali, there is a 10,000 year extract of opportunity to reborn our consciousness. So we all heard about 10,000 of what is that? The golden age. Yes, so this is the golden age. So this is what we're talking about. But this rebirth occurs in a special way. In Satya Yuga, consciousness is purified by meditation, just simply by meditating on Krishna with closed eyes. Like that's going to bring us to the purification, to the perfect state of life. The Treta Yuga also through sacrifices. So any sacrifices we do for God, it gives us the perfection of life. Dvapara Yuga through deity worship. And in Kali Yuga through chanting the holy names. So this is the only way to get the perfection of life. Chanting holy names of God. Nothing else is effective in the age of Kali. And therefore there is no religious principle higher than this. Higher than chanting holy names of God. Without the holy name, perfection is simply impossible in this age, in the age of Kali. Therefore, we do not worry that we live in this age. Rather, we rejoice at this opportunity. In the Eastern calendar, there is one thing, or the one, I don't know if this calendar got this, it's called Magha Purnima. Have you heard of Magha Purnima? Alright, so in 2026, as I read, it was the 1st of February. So Magha Purnima is the month very auspicious in the material aspect, mostly. It's not really spiritual. So Magha Purnima begins sometimes early in the year, and it's normally in India after the long period of rains. Yes, so rain was Magha Purnima. This day is considered very auspicious, and it's said that if a pious deed is performed on this day, the fruits of such an action are 1,000 times better than other days. Why I mentioned about Magha Purnima? Because Magha Purnima was the time when the Kali Yuga started. And that was on Kurukshetra, of course. Yes, the battlefield on Kurukshetra, which is stated in Bhagavad Gita. And will help, So, Kali Yuga lasts 432,000 years. We're currently in this era already, which according to tradition began 3102 BCE, before Jesus Christ, the year of Kurukshetra war. Yeah. This time is dangerous that the Varaha Purana warns. In Kali Yuga, demons take birth directly in Brahmans' families. But for one who knows the secret of God's name, there is no danger. It comes directly from the spiritual world and therefore capable of destroying the influence of not only the age of Kali, but also material illusion, Maya. Sages say that the only friend of individual soul in this material world, holy names, chanting Hare Krishna. They simply have no other true friends, only Mahamantra. So let's say, refer to some of the Puranas from other what the other sources of Vedas says about this time and what to do in this time of Kali Yuga. Garuda Purana states, we don't have Garuda Purana in the temple, but there is one of the good Puranas to mention about. When one chants the holy names of the Lord, even in the helpless states or unwillingly, all reactions to the sins of one's life flee, like small animals frightened by the roar of a lion. A person who practices chanting of names of God is truly freed from all suffering. The Skanda Purana states, when a person remembers God or chants his holy names, all his bodily or mental ailments are removed and vanish forever. A person who chants the names of God purifies not only himself, but also his entire family, friends, and everyone else. This is written about in the Brahmanda Purana. In short, the age of Kali cannot harm a person who loudly chants the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The holy name of God is more valuable than all the Vedas. The Skanda Purana says, don't study the Rig Veda, don't study the Yajur Veda, don't even think of studying the Sama Veda. Simply always chant the holy names of God. The holy name can be considered a means to an end. But when the end is achieved, one discovers that the holy name is also the end as the goal itself of life. So when, you know what I mean? That's amazing. Therefore, sometimes when we just finished our 16 rounds of chanting Hare Krishna, I want more. I just want more. I want 17, 18, 19, 20. And I just see that the end is not the goal. Because I achieved the end. And it's like, I want more. Yeah. So, all these texts and Puranas and Vedas says about that, which is amazing. Furthermore, one sacred text called the Brahma Vaivarta Purana describes what will happen in the age of Kali. It says that people will be cleansed of sins by bathing in the sacred Ganges river for 5,000 years. Then anyone will be able immediately to turn their sins to ashes by associating with pure devotees who chant the holy names of God. The Purana states that such devotees will remain on earth for 10,000 years. So we devotees of Krishna will remain here 10,000 years. And it started when Lord Chaitanya came, I think. And after this, so the first 5,000 years already passed since the Kali Yuga started. Do you know exact day when, exact time when the Battle of Kurukshetra happened? 3,102 years before Jesus Christ, plus 2026. What we got? 5,128 years ago. Yeah, 5,120 years ago.
You're saying that Kali Yuga started from the Battle of Kurukshetra, but my understanding is that it started with the cursing of Maharaj Parikshit.
Yeah, but Bhagavatam says it's once Krishna disappeared.
And the disappearance of Krishna.
Yeah, Kali enters.
Again, that's well after the Battle of Kurukshetra.
Yes.
And
Right, so we got 3 different opinions. Okay. Right.
But Kali enters after Krishna disappears. But since he, like Parikshit
Maharaj
Maharaj is
Parikshit
there,
keeps Kali
keeps
in
Kali
check
in check.
because of the quality of his rule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. I've heard about, yes, when Parikshit had this curse. Yeah, that's right. Anyway,
But still,
it's
like
information for
5,100
thinking,
years
yes. I'm not going to just say that it's like, should be like that. But definitely Kurukshetra was 5,128 years ago. Yes, and as we know, that Krishna comes to this world in each yuga to establish the principles of religion. So there was another text preserved in Lakshmi Sampradaya. So Lakshmi Sampradaya says it was written 300 before Kali Yuga. So it was 300 before Kali Yuga. And this verse states that in Kali Yuga, divine personalities will appear who will walk with raised hands, chant Hare Krishna and holy names on the streets. They will have tilaka, a mark, on their foreheads that rises vertically from the nose. They will roam the entire earth and they will bring an end to the age of Kali. 300 before Kali Yuga, that was stated in Lakshmi Sampradaya. Right, I will give you one story about that. So once, 3 sages were discussing the most suitable time for liberation from material existence. One sage said, I believe the appropriate age is Satya Yuga, as it is the golden age, the age of enlightenment. Simply by meditating for a few hundred years, one can return to Vaikuntha. That is my suggestion. The other sage said, no. The Treta Yuga, we can perform Agnihotra, and simply by offering grains and ghee into the fire and distributing gold to the Brahmanas, by this simple process we can attain moksha and leave this world. The 3rd sage said, forgive me, brothers, but Dvapara Yuga is undoubtedly the best age, because Krishna Bhagavan himself appears in this age. Yada yada hi dharmasya, glanir bhavati bhavata. He appears in his original form, and those born in this age can have the opportunity to personally associate with Lord. So they had the arguments. They had 3 different opinions that we have today. So they argued. Satya Dvapara, Satya Treta, Dvapara, Satya Treta, Dvapara, Satya. And they didn't mention about Kali Yuga. They didn't mention about that. There are 4 ages we know, that the 4th is Kali Yuga. And Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dvapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. However, these sages didn't even mention the name of Kali, as it is very inauspicious. It contaminates our consciousness. What to speak of its evil consciousness, if it did not even mention of that name? So, what they decided to do, after many years of discussion, they come to conclusion that they need to see somebody better than them. And they decided, okay, let's go to see Srila Vyasadeva. We're going to see Vyasadeva, the greatest sage of all sages. He lives in the Himalayas. Let's go there and hear his opinion. So they went to Badarikashrama, and when they arrived, Vyasadeva was bathing in the pond. Oh, great sage, the rishis asked him, which of the ages, Satya, Treta, or Dvapara, is the most suitable for spiritual advancement? But Vyasadeva didn't emerge from the water. They continued questioning him again and again, and then he emerged and said, Satyam Satyam Param Satyam Kadir Dosha Nidirajan Astiyeko Mahanguna Kirtanat Eva Krishnasya Mukta Sangam Param Vrajet. And then there was a splash, and Vyasa dived back into the water. And the sages asked each other, have you heard what he said? have you heard what he said? And one said, no, as long as I heard Kali, I just block my ears. So they just blow their ears because Kali, we shouldn't hear these words. It contaminates our consciousness. Ask him again. We should ask him again because we just missed all this meaning about that. So, oh great Srila Vyasadeva, could you please repeat what you just said? Please come and say again what you just said. And Vyasadeva came out again and repeated, Satyam Satyam Param Satyam Kalir Dosha Nidhyarajan. And then he explained the verse that supreme truth, the truth of all truths, is that although this Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, it has one auspicious quality. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become free from material bondage and enter into the transcendental kingdom of God, Krishna. And here the question arises, isn't that enough to simply remember Krishna? Isn't that enough to simply chant his name? What are the rules and regulations we should follow apart from remembering and chanting Hare Krishna? So the answer is we should be, we just discussed that with Prabhupada as well on Friday, that maintenance. We shouldn't abandon this path. As long as we leave this path of Krishna consciousness, then the Maya comes and the Kali is going to penetrate to our consciousness. And also, I remember when I had an initiation, they asked me to chant 16 rounds, now following 4 principles and regulations. And also, don't please abandon ISKCON. Stay on this path. And now I realize why. Hare Krishna. Thank you for listening. Any questions or reflections? Welcome.
Prabhupada in the purport says that the process is very simple.
Yeah.
There's another purport where Prabhupada says that some people who practice the other paths of impersonalism and that they say that devotional service or bhakti yoga is too simple.
Yeah.
Prabhupada says, well, if it's simple, why do you practice the difficult? If the other paths are difficult, just like Krishna says in the previous verse that the impersonal realization is very difficult. The Prabhupada says, why do they choose the difficult path if bhakti yoga is easy?
Yes.
But further on, Prabhupada says that although the path is simple and straightforward, it's not easy. So Krishna consciousness is something which is superficially, it looks kind of very easy, and Prabhupada says it's chanting, dancing, and taking prasadam.
Yeah.
It's also a very serious process of purification, and that's not easy to achieve. He says that actually to take up spiritual life means a war against Maya. So it's not easy.
Yes.
But it's straightforward.
Yes, you're right. I remember one story when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he once seen one person who came to see him and wanted to have an initiation and become a monk in a temple. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati would ask him, do you know this process is quite serious? Are you ready to be humble? Oh yes, I'm ready to be humble, he said. So if you're ready to be humble, you should know that we work in the temple from morning to the end, to the evening, in the humble state of mind. Oh, it's okay, I had many bosses in my life. I worked for that boss, for that boss. I've always been humble, otherwise they wouldn't pay me. Okay? So, we've just taken the ordinary food, we're not expecting anything. Oh, all my life I take ordinary food, because our family is not rich. Okay, between other monks, who is practicing spiritual life, you should be humble again. Oh yeah, it's okay, I got wife, I got children, I've always been humble with them, otherwise they will kick me out from the house, Okay, no problem. But you shouldn't expect any gratitude to what you do. You shouldn't expect any prestige. Oh, no gratitude. I can't stand with that. I want to prestige. I want gratitude for what I'm doing, especially for Krishna. So, false ego. He couldn't beat his false ego. He thought that he's so humble and all his life is God humility, but he's expecting the gratitude in return. He wants to be someone rather than nobody. So probably this is the hardest thing in spiritual life. False ego. To beat false ego is so hard. And even sometimes, when I walk in the forest, I remember last summer, I just took someone was in front of me, and they just pulled the bushes, and all these bushes, branches, like, bam, splashed my face. I was so angry. I was so red with anger, and then I was thought, oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And I was so easy. I was so angry. This is false ego coming to work, you know. What's happened? Just accidentally, the branches just splashed my face, you know. It's just not a big deal. But I was so angry. Oh. Yes. So this is probably the answer. Okay. Thank you much for listening. Hare Krishna. We will go on to the next part of our program. Shrimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai!